Okay, and welcome to the Mediocre Photography Show, and quite a special episode as this is actually the season 1 finale of the show. Yeah, bit of a weird one. We've never done a vlog before, and I thought, why not try new things right at the very end? We did have something that was a little bit more scripted, however, unfortunately, young Jackery couldn't quite make it, and if we were going to get the episode out on time, it had to happen today. I was intending on shooting today anyway, something for season 2, more on that in a second, but as you can see, the weather turned out to be a little bit foul, and so I thought, fuck it, let's go out anyway. So I wanted to talk about content and what the channel started off as and what it's become. It was originally meant to be a podcast, and we still do podcast episodes, that happens once a month still, but not as regularly, and I'm okay with that. I actually prefer creating the shorter scripted videos, and I also much prefer the look and the style of them as well. As much as we try, I don't think Jack and I are the two most interesting people in the world, and of course we are a little bit constrained by how interesting the topics are as well. But we have done a lot. Needless to say, we've done the photo conversation, which I actually think has been quite successful. Watch this space because the zine is coming kind of imminently-ish. We're kind of putting a little bit more effort on that. We're just waiting for Jack to get some stuff over. We've also done quite well with things like 2 Boys 1 Camera, started a really nice interesting series with that, having a few more Ben specials, and yeah, generally branching out a little bit, and I'm quite happy with the results. So I feel like we should talk about the photo conversations as well. Just explain the process of what's going on with them and what it's hopefully going to be. I personally think that we do have a set of images which are strong enough to be made into a zine, and that's kind of been the goal, I don't know, for maybe the last month or so. That's been where we're going with that. However, it's safe to say that there are definitely weak images on both mine and Jack's sides. Buy a mirrorless camera, they said. They're light, they said. Not for vlogging. And so there is going to be some stuff that we do need to do to rework those and make sure that they are where we need it to be. Hopefully in kind of the break that we're having between seasons, hopefully in the break we're going to have between seasons, that's going to be something that we can work with a little bit more as well. I think it should also be noted how much we've improved from a technical point of view. And for me, it's definitely been a learning curve. Obviously, funnily enough, I have a background in photography, but working with video, working with audio, bits and pieces like that, even just editing and putting a timeline together was something that I've never really done before. For people that captured caught the earlier episodes, I don't have a background in media, so it's really been a learning curve for me, but a pleasant one. And considering the first episode, which I believe was unreleased, where we actually had to stop recording because our pizza arrived, it's definitely come a long way. And of course that's Jax has to take some credit for that as well. He started off really not knowing anything about microphone whatsoever, and it's sort of only within the last 5 episodes or so that he's actually managed to produce decent sounding audio, and there have been more than one occasion where we've had to scrap audio, re-record, use scrub audio as well. So there's definitely been a learning curve on the technical front from both sides. And yeah, I think that we've covered interesting topics. We've not always got it right. It's definitely one to be said, but we're going to be more careful going forward, and we're going to be covering more interesting topics going forward as well. Oh, the sun's coming out now, that's nice. So all in all, I would say, all things considered, and especially the fact that I moved home quite unexpectedly with the whole coronavirus thing, and it was always something that was potentially on the cards, but then it just happened. I think Jack and I have done very well to keep it going for as long as it has been going for. And even though that kind of sounds like it's ending, it's certainly not, because the next I'm going to be talking about is season 2. So, season 2. First of all, why we're taking a break. Oh god, look at the colours on the trees. Hang on. Yes, I'm just going to take a photo. Yeah, so why are we taking a break? Well, first of all, logistics. I'm moving house. I'm going back to Plymouth again, finally. And Jack, I just feel like he needs a break. Or, that makes me sound like his mother. He needs a break, effectively. So we can't record for a couple of weeks, and we could just do oh yeah, we'll be back in a few weeks and go from there. But I like the idea of seasons for a few reasons. Yeah, so we're decided to do season 2 for a few reasons. First of all, we've got some really interesting ideas for it. I think season 1's definitely would have been our pilot run. 2 boys sitting in their desks, majoritively. And there's been one episode where we've met up, but that was, because I was in Devon. We're going to be living closer together, so that means that we are going to have the opportunity to see each other more, to kind of do outdoorsy things like this a little bit more as well, which I think is definitely going to be beneficial. The other thing is that it forces us to have fresh ideas, and I think that's really important for the kind of show that this is. That if you're binge watching this, you've watched what, 13? No, it must be more than that. 20 episodes, 21 episodes, something like that. You could get through that in a day. For us, this has been 6 months, and I think it is very easy to get stuck in a rut with this kind of thing. So the new season means that we're shaking things up for ourselves, which means that you're going to be shaking it up for you guys as well. And I think that that's very important. Yeah, back to this side again. Hi. It's my better side. What exactly is going to be changing? Well, hopefully we're going to have a few other co-hosts on board, which I think straight off the bat is just going to give fresh perspectives, new personalities, and it gives us the opportunity to work with different things and explore different ideas. The other thing is that we are going to try and plan the season a little bit more. There have been, we're ducking. There we go. Jack and I have very much struggled coming up with an idea every single week and going, right, okay, this is the idea, we need to go and shoot this, we need to go and do this, we need to go and do that. And that's led to delays, it's led to content which, quite frankly, I put out and it's not our best. If we plan at least some of the episodes, we know who's going to be shooting what and when. It means that we can spend more time in the hiatus preparing for those, shooting B-roll, doing this, doing that, doing the other, and less time coming up with the ideas in the first place, which hopefully that time saving will create improvement in the quality, which means that you guys are going to have more fun watching. That's the plan. As far as when season 2 is concerned, quite frankly, I don't know yet. I'm aiming for at some point in mid-October. I feel like if it goes more than a month without it happening, then it's not going to happen. So that's kind of the plan there. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done before it starts. There's a couple of scripts that I've already written, there's a few ideas that I've already had, but there certainly needs to be more. And yeah, like I say, we need to be kind of putting together a master plan. The focus is immediately shifting towards the Photo Conversation zine. I made it kind of my goal to have it done before I moved to university. That goal's looking increasingly unlikely due to shift rotations and tardiness and what have you. But where there's a will, there's a way. It could just be that I end up going out with the Mamiya and a roll of HP5 and rattling off 10 in a row. We'll have to see. So, that terrified me. Oh god, there's something weird about walking through the woods by yourself as it's getting dark, isn't there? Yeah, I'm going to continue my walk. The sun's coming out, getting a bit extra light. And if you're lucky, you might even see some photos that I've taken from the rest of it as well. Alright, until season 2. Alright, camera's set up. Alright, let's get this over and done with, then we don't have to talk to each other again for another 2 months. And welcome to the Mediocre Photography Show. My name's Ben.
And my name's Jack.
And welcome to the last ever Photo Conversations of Season 1. And Jack, I think it's your turn to go first.
It is. So this word was harmony. When I thought about the word harmony, I thought about people living in harmony. Personally, I felt this was the only way that the word sort of fit with my atmosphere and style. Although harmony being a positive word, it was very difficult to flip without requiring a second subject. So I went for a more of a literal and fairly visually obvious lack of harmony. For this image I wanted a closer shot of myself, with the latter taking up about 2/3 of the shot, visually displacing the harmony. Alongside this, to emphasise the disharmony, I wanted to be doing a sort of act. My first idea was to be like pushing it, but my face looked like a wrinkly tomato, and it sort of gave a new life to the meaning love nature. So with this in mind, I turned my attention to tree hugging. Now before you say, Jack, haven't you finished your A-level? I will say, barely. And also, I wanted to sort of stay away from tree hugging, but it's the only image that sort of didn't turn out shit. So I like this image because of the simplicity of it. I weirdly feel like I've come full circle with this photo conversation, as since my first ever photo conversation, the images have sort of got more visually and technically complex, so it feels nice to end the series on more of a simple image. Adding to the simplicity, I had planned this, but I didn't know it would turn out so good. The image sort of acts like a bookend to the series. The colours, tones and general atmosphere of the image were sort of what I was going for, and I think that's what sort of makes it a tiny bit better than A-level. I will admit that this image and this sort of subject is very A-level. I will admit it's borderline A-level, but I think when you're doing simpler self-portraits within nature, there's always a risk of your images looking A-level. And I think this is where context and narrative will come in and save it. Personally, I think this is my weakest shot contextually. I struggled for visual inspiration with this word.
Yeah, I think I would agree with all of that. I'm not, visually, yeah, it definitely does work well as a bookend for the kind of final photograph in the sequence, and that was actually something that I was considering as well in choosing my photo. Visually, yeah, again, it's an interesting enough photo. I think your boy needs to be hitting the gym a little bit more though.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Chicken Arms. And yeah, I think that the only thing that does let it down as well is the context of it. I'm not entirely sure why it was a tree that you chose as opposed to any other object. Like a tree just kind of seems a bit A-level. Was it a relationship between were you exploring your relationship with nature? You kind of mentioned two people living together, like symbiosis, but I don't know, it's a bit of a left field for what the rest of the project has been about. But yeah, I mean, visually I think it's a good photo. I think as you said, sometimes keeping it a little bit simpler definitely does work, and some of the photos that you have taken have been a little bit more complicated. So yeah, I think I agree with that. Try and keep it a little bit more simple to end with.
Cool. Should we move on to yours?
Yeah, why not? I suppose that's why we're here.
Yep.
This photograph is from an upcoming zine of mine, which is called The Humble Misadventures of the Lost Photographer, and that project is currently in its final editing phase. So if you're interested, do keep an ear out for that, because that should be coming fairly soon. As far as what the image represents in this kind of context, like with you, Jack, I was kind of thinking a lot about how harmony can be linked to family relationships, relationships with friends, etc. And as my time in Cambridge has been drawing to an end, I've been reflecting quite a lot on what it's been like to be back at home. So for those of you that aren't aware, I've been living with my parents and my sister for the last 5 months. The last time that I was at home for that long was about 5 years ago. So it's been a very long time, and it's been a very surreal, strange thing to come back to. The reason that I chose this photo for harmony is that although, like with every family, we have our tiffs and our bickers and our arguments, and everybody has their pet peeves with each other, generally I think that we do have quite a nice unit cohesion. And, you know, we do get on well with each other. We know when to stay out of each other's way. We know what we can do to make everybody's lives easier. And the other thing that I've really quite enjoyed is the fact that being at home, where not just my immediate but my extended family are, has given me the opportunity to reconnect in a way that I haven't been able to in the last 5 years, apart from seeing them at summer holidays and Christmases. If that, I've really not had a huge amount of time to see my extended family, so that's been quite nice there as well. So the reason that I chose this photo to represent that is, once it's explained, quite obvious, the two trees, symbolising two formidable structures of hope, and like the family, the trees have grown in unison and are growing together. Visually, this photo is actually natively taken in black and white. I think it was taken on my A1, but it was definitely black and white film, and I absolutely love the light on it. I think that it makes it a very interesting photograph and adds an extra layer of complexity to it, but the photo itself isn't overly complicated and kind of overly loud. My one criticism is that it's a little bit high contrast, but that's something that can be pretty easily taken down in editing.
God damn.
One take, boys.
You're also gonna make me you're gonna make me cry a little bit. Dude. You know I love this photo so much.
Yeah.
I've said
You've seen it before, haven't you?
I absolutely love this damn photo. It's, as you said, so simple, but like the context that you put on it there is perfect. I never even thought about that, the whole like growing in cohesion sort of deal. But that, yeah, beautifully worded, beautiful shot, and I think you're right with the contrast, but that can easily be taken down. But yeah. I think I agree with everything, and I think that the two photos work well. It's a nice, quiet, simple ending. It's really beautiful.
It's nice to see that you've finally included some nature in your photos.
Yay.
Well, I think that's about it. Pretty boring end to season 1.
Yeah.
But we'll be back with a vengeance for season 2. I've got some really good ideas. I don't know if Jack's got some really good ideas, but I've got some really ideas.
I don't have any ideas.
My ideas are generally better than his anyway, so all in, we'll be looking at a pretty cool treat. Well, I think for the last time I'll be saying this in a long time. If you like the video, then subscribe. And if you really liked it... No, hang on. We need to do the Insta shit, don't we? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
God, 22 episodes and I still it up. So, I suppose this is the last time that I'm going to be saying this for a long time. Jack, if people liked your photos and want to see more by you, where can they find you?
That'd be at Jack Henderson Photo. And Ben, if they liked your image, where can they find more from you?
Well, they can find me at Ben Bullman Photo. And if they liked the video and want to see more exclusive behind the scenes bits and pieces, and where can they find that?
That'll be at the Mediocre Photo.
If you like the video, then subscribe. And if you really liked it, then like it. And we'll see you in a couple of months.
Cheers.
Goodbye.